Hello. So it's a gorgeous day here today. It's about 57. It feels beautiful. I am, the first order of business is I need to get the straw on my beds to mulch them because there's a cat that pooped in one of my clean beds. Because I cleaned my beds and then it snowed, so I wasn't able to mulch them when I got them cleaned out. I still have a couple of 3 different beds that I still need to get weeded and cleaned. So first order of business is we are going to mulch the clean beds now, and then I will. I do have some vinings, shelling peas that I want to get planted, but I think I want to do them in the far bed, so I'm going to have to get that bed weeded first. So that's what we're doing today. Leave it, Poppy. Poppy, leave it. Thank you. Well, hello, beautiful people. I'm so glad that you've joined me today. My name is Shreese with Potter Palace 509, and today I was just going to talk to you a little bit about my 2026 gardening season. I probably will break this into 2 parts, 2 different videos, because I do have a lot of things that I wanted to cover. I have been wanting to get this video done for a couple of weeks, and I go over the things that I'm going to do differently in my garden this year, some of the things that I want to do, some of the cool fun things that are happening. Let's get into it. So if you want, go grab something to drink. I've got a cup of coffee, so go grab your drink and come on back and let's get started. All right, so the first thing that I wanted to talk about and go over was my journal. My gardening journal. This is just a regular notebook from the store that I bought. I started this journal in 2022. It's been through a lot. I've ripped a lot of pages out, things like that. I did do this cute little, I just taped a string right on it, and then I put a bead on the end because I like to have those markers in your books. So it's fun. The little tabs here I've marked 2022 is the first year I started my garden. So this is 2022, this is 2023, and then this will be this year, 2026 down here. I may go beginning of the season and get a new one. This one's I'm pretty low on pages. But so what I have in here is I just have my my frost dates. I have my garden layout in here from 2022. I have all the things I'm growing. I have notes, just for instance, weekend of 5/20/2022. I planted out warm weather crops, sprouts, tomatoes, peppers, melons, basil, lemon balm. Planted potatoes April 2nd that year. So helpful because I can look back in here and see all of these things. And then in 2023 was my biggest gardening year. That was the year that I started so many things from seed. I got really, really overwhelmed. And by the end of the season, and I just was like, I don't want to do that again. So I haven't gardened for the last couple years. Last year, at the end of the year, I did really miss my garden. So I'm like, okay, let's garden and let's just learn from our mistakes and let's downsize. I kind of go big or go home with everything that I do. I'm not half-ass at anything. So that is also something I'm working on. And I really don't want a huge mediocre garden. I would really like to have a smaller, really wonderfully producing good food garden for my community and my friends and my family. So that's what we're going to focus on. So the garden journal is a great resource for you. If you don't do one, you should. So, and I just got mine from the store. It's just a regular old notebook. And then one thing I did want to mention in here, it's really interesting. This to me is just the perfect example of climate change. 22, my zone, I was in zone 6B. My temps were -5 to 0 for low temps. My first frost date would have been October 7th, and my last frost date would have been around May 10th. It's always been around Mother's Day here. And then for this year, when I looked it up and stuff, I am now considered zone 7A. My first frost date is still going to be October 7th, but my last frost date is now moved up to May 1st. So that to me right here is just a true testament of climate change, that my zone is getting warmer where I am, which it's always been in the 6A, 6B, zone 6 here. So if you think that you know the zone, maybe check it. I would have totally thought I was in 6B still. And everything is variable too with gardening. That's why it's always a learning, because you're never like, oh, I have everything set, because you have so many variables, the weather, sun, all of the things that's happening makes a big difference. My garden journal, I love it. Definitely recommend one. Highly, highly recommend. I put everything in here, my notes, when I'm planning, what I'm planning, starting dates. I doodle, I draw. Yeah, it's great. I love it.
Closing both of these eyes, there's always a prophet, always a lie, a faraway poem, a fragment of light, catching a ribbon, lost in the wind of my mind. On the threshold, leaning in.
Then the other thing that I wanted to go over and talk about with y'all is I use the Planter app. It's only $24.99 for a year. You can get like a 7-day free trial. So I did the free trial and I absolutely loved it. I have used Seed Time before, and I have used the Farmer's Almanac before. I did like the Farmer's Almanac. It was a little bit more expensive than this one for basically kind of similar stuff, but this one had more things on it that I really enjoyed. It's really easy to use. It's really straightforward. You can use the app on your phone, or they have on your computer. You can use a web page. Two things I really liked about it was they have a task list and you can edit. So even the stuff that's already been in there, the plants that are already inside that app, you can go in and you can edit it and you can add varieties. So this right here is the Planter app icon. So let's click on that. And then so when you get on here, you can either I have mine set by per bed for my garden space, or you can do like a full 8, however big your garden area is. So that would be here. So like here in my bed number 1, I have some oregano in there. So this is going to tell you like compost copy, add note, info. So that's going to be oregano. Over here, I've got some chives planted. So that's kind of how it's going to look. I don't think I have anything else in any of the other beds yet. And then over here, you can click the plants, and then this is going to be all of the plants that are in here. And then if you need to add a plant that isn't available, you can do that. And then you can add all of this information in here, which I think is really cool that you can edit stuff. When you click on the plants, it gives you so much information. It tells you all of this stuff. It tells you when you need to start inside transplant, so outside. Your tasks, you can set it as a task. And then you have all your different varieties here, and then it tells you the companion plants, combative, nutrition, pests, disease, beneficial, lots of information in here. And then up on the top right corner, you have varieties, favorites, and edit. So if you need to add varieties, you would click that. You could click this lower right hand corner plus, and then you would add your varieties. You can favorite things, you can edit all of this information that's on here. That's really cool. You have a calendar here. So this is going to be all the things that I've chosen for myself that I'm growing to know when, well, not all of them. There's some stuff on here, but so this is going to show you all of the stuff that is in here and when to plant it inside, when to direct sow, when to transplant, sow outside, all of those things, and harvest as well. So that's really cool. You also have a guide, so it gives you all sorts of different things in here that you can research. On the more is where you would go and do your tasks. And then you set up in the right hand corner, you can hit the plant tasks, and then it's going to tell you all your tasks here, and then you have your legend down below. You also can go through, so like yesterday I sowed my kohlrabi outside. I started some broccoli rabe inside a while ago. I got my calendulas planted outside yesterday. So the task list is one of my favorite things because it's kind of like set it and forget it, and then you just have to look on your list for the day and go, oh, this is what I need to do. As long as all the other information is correct in the plant profile stuff, then you're good to go. Also down on the more option on the lower right hand corner, you're going to have your seed box. I really love this one. So you just add the seeds that you want in there, and then over here on the right hand side, these little packet looking things, this is how you know your stuff. So my lamb's ear, I'm out of my violas, I'm out of spring onions, I'm out of lavender. So I can look in here and go, oh, I need this, this, and this. I don't have to keep it written down anywhere or hope I don't lose the packets and forget what I need. So that is one of my very favorite things in here. So yeah, you can add your seed packet. You just hit that little green add button down on the lower right hand corner to add your seed packets. It's so cool. One of my favorite features. Also, another one of my cool features is the light sensor. You click it, and then this is what it looks like, and then you put your phone under your grow light, and then it's going to tell you if it's going to be strong enough. And then the little graph down below here, it tells you that yes, it's going to work just fine. My plants will like it. It's over 10,000. They'll be happy. So that's a really cool feature too. You don't have to worry so much about lights, I don't think, anymore, really. Most LED grow lights are going to have all the lumens and kevlins that you're going to need. What else in here? So you can, oh, the photos is cool. So you can add your own photos. You can look up diseases, pests, beneficial critters. And then for the settings is where you would go in and put all your own personal information. It has all your growing season, how many weeks, notifications and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty cool. So this is by far a great resource, and it is a very reasonable amount. $24.99 for a year is great, and I'm super happy with it. That was those two things to kind of like keep you on track, the journal and the planting app. Some other things that I want to do is I want to add a couple things for my garden, like my aesthetics. We added 6-foot bamboo sections. They're 6 feet wide, 6 feet tall sections of bamboo to our fence, our existing fence in our little garden area, because I want privacy. We have one more section that we need to add on for that, so we're going to finish that. Do a second cattle panel. We have one out there from one bed to another, but I want to do another one. I got on the Greenstock buy one get one for the 3-foot planters in the lemon color. I'm so excited about the color. I love yellow. So one, I will probably get the some rollers on, and then one I'll probably just put on a spinner and put it on some pavers or something out here in the garden. And then the second one I think I'm going to use for like strawberries or something for our granddaughter, and then I can get like the netting that goes over the green stalks for that, and that'll just be real easy. This year I am going to do a different system for my tomatoes. I'm actually going to build a removable tomato hang system where I'm gonna have some wood go up. It'll go up probably 6 feet, and then have wood come down and have it bolt into the side of the bed. And I'll have eye rings in the top, and then when I plant my tomatoes, I'm gonna plant a string in the ground under the tomato, and then I'm gonna string it up, and I'm gonna tie it up to that hook knot, the hook loop eye. And then as my tomatoes grow, because in 2023 I put them in, I pruned them all. So I pruned up the leaves so that the leaves weren't touching. I staked them all, trellised them, did all the things, right? And it's a mess. They're a wild plant. They want to be wild. They want to grow. They want to vine. They want to reach out. They can grow up 6, 7, 8 feet tall if you let them. So this year, I want to do it where it's just going to be easier to harvest, less disease, more airflow through. So I will continue to be doing the taking off the bottom leaves, and I'm going to grow them up that string. So then as they grow, I can just wind them or clip them around, and then they'll just grow up tall. And then when after the season's over, I can take off that trellis system and move it if I need to. And also because I do think they're in full sun and it gets so hot. So in 2023, my tomatoes their leaves were curling, and it was because they were hot. And like by 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a 90-degree day, they need some shade. If I do have that trellis system, I'm hoping that I can just put some shade cloth, kind of over it and hang it over and something. I don't know how that will work well or not, but we're going to try it because that's what gardening is. It's just trying things and seeing what happens, because there's so many different variables. Like, I love gardening because I get really bored very quickly, and it's nice to know that it's not always going to be the same. I tried doing this a few years ago, and it never really did anything. Again, that was when I was doing too many things. It's mushrooms. So I planted oyster mushrooms in one of my beds, and they never really came up, but you can do that. So you can take your oyster mushrooms, get a grow, order a thing of it, open up the bag like you're going to sprout it in your house, but open the bag and you take all of that stuff that's in there, that mycelium and the substrate, and you're going to put that out. And I use straw to mulch my beds. So then you can put that out in your beds with your straw and the substrate and stuff, and then you can cultivate mushrooms also in your garden beds. The other thing is that we have a wishing well that we really want to redo it this summer and repaint it. And I want to put Penny's Wishes. Penelope is our granddaughter. We call her Penny. And put Penny's Wishes on it. And I want to put like a flower pot inside the well part of it. Pot in there with like some nasturtium maybe that can trail over, and that can be really fun. I'm going to have to end up moving some plants. I have a humongous thyme bush in one of my raised beds that I planted years ago. I've gardened forever. Like, it's not something super new to me. I just have never done it very well. So when I got that thyme plant, it was a tiny little bit of thyme, and I didn't know, and I planted it, and now it's a huge thyme bush. Well, I oftentimes plant cucumbers in that bed because there's a trellis, and I'm always like, in 2023 we had our irrigation, everything. I was like, what is going on with these cucumbers? Like, they're producing, but they're not producing super well. Like, what's going on? Well, this year I did some research, and guess what? Thyme is a combative plant to cucumbers. They don't like each other. They don't want to grow next to each other. So I have to move my thyme. And it's taking up a quarter of that bed. So it needs to come out and go in a pot so that it doesn't get to overtake. So I'm going to be replanting that this spring. And then I have two lavender plants that I need to move and dig out, and I'll put those in a pot as well, because I don't want them to take over. And also because where I put them in 2023, now I want to make a true raspberry trellis and get some raspberry plants this year and put them in and really try to get my berries to grow well, because raspberries and blueberries and blackberries, berries are my favorite, and they are so expensive, and they are one of the very best things that you can put into your bodies for antioxidants and things like that, free radicals, to help with free radicals and stuff. So I really want, and we love blackberries. I think I want to order another thornless blackberry to grow, because I also this year I want to make, when I forage and harvest my elderberries for syrup, I'm going to make jam instead of syrup, because I think, well, I might make syrup. I use my elderberry syrup a lot, but I don't think a lot of people, when they're new to herbal medicine, I don't think that it's on their radar just to drink a spoonful of the syrup every day. It's like really foreign to them. And so I was doing some research, and I was like, oh, I can make jam out of elderberries. And so I think I'll make elderberry and blackberry jam. And then that way it'll be a lot easier for people, my friends and family, and the people that I love, to get it into their bodies to build that immunity for the cold and flu season. And it's just delicious. So why not? This is a cool thing that is happening in my garden right now, but I have a praying mantis sac in my garden. When I did the research, and the one that we have is called the Carolina. It's a Carolina species of praying mantis. Second one we've had. I'm sure we've had more, but this is only the second one that I've seen in my garden throughout the years. And the reason why is because we are an organic, no spray garden. I use diatomaceous earth. I spray neem. I use beneficial nematodes. Things like I do not spray pesticides in my garden, and that's why we have them, because it's safe. The first one we found, I found it after the season and it had already hatched, and like I never saw any mantises. But this one, so I found it this fall when we kind of cleaned up our garden area, because I knew I was going to be gardening this season, and I found it, and the mantis put the egg sac on our little wheelbarrow trolley that we have. So I kind of shimmied it up to the house to kind of give it a little bit of protection. My kid might even, sounds really weird, I've been wanting to get a trail cam just for my own shits and giggles for when I'm out camping in my car, and we camp in our camper and stuff like that. So I might invest in a trail cam and set it up in our garden just to watch that, just to see if maybe we can catch it hatching. I think that would be so cool. So that's one of the most exciting things happening in my garden right now. I am planting a couple different grasses this year. I love grass. I don't know what it is with the grasses. I love grass. I always see it and I was like, oh, I want some grasses in my yard. We live on a corner lot. So they kind of took the corner of our lot and kind of cut it off. So we have a corner bed that is outside of our fence that is still ours, that we have a little lilac bush that's in it. It was these grasses that I got are going to be really nice, just kind of in that same area to kind of border around there. And I got bunny tails as one of them, and then I got a blue buddy grass that also doesn't get very big, so I think I'm going to do that. And the other one I got is sweetgrass. I really want some sweetgrass, but I think I'm going to probably plant that in a container in the fall and have it overwinter outside all winter, and then hope it comes up in the spring. That's going to be what I'm going to do with it. I don't have a designated space for like a tea garden and a medicinal garden. It's just everything is just all intermixed. I don't have enough room to designate a specific places for that, for just medicinal flowers, plants, just vegetables, for all that. I have a very small area. So some harvest and dry and smoke some paprikas to make paprika powder this year. And I want to try to make some other of my own spices. I am trying to grow 3 different varieties of milkweed because I really want to be able to help the monarchs with their larvae. To maybe I can get some and then we can see some chrysalises hatch. That would be really fun for my granddaughter. My dahlias, I'm growing 3 different types of dahlias. I grew dahlia from seed in 2023, planted it in my garden, and it did amazing. I was not aware that you could dig up the tubers at the end of the year and keep them, or I would have done that. I did not. I'm going to do that this year. So when I grow them, I'm going to try to save the tubers from them for next season. I do have orange hat tomatoes in here sprouting in my house. They're a little dwarf variety that you can grow in a container under a grow light. Hopefully we'll get some off those. So that's something fun I'm doing. And then I do have a little mini greenhouse that I got in 2023 from Amazon. It's just the one that has the shelves and it has the little thing that goes over it and you zip it up. It worked really great for me to help me harden off some stuff and to be able to put some plants out and then not worry about them before it was really time to put them out in 2023. But this year, I think I'm going to try to utilize that to grow some personal watermelons and a personal cantaloupe, but we'll see how that goes. I don't know. I do have plastic cover, so I might just put those in a smaller bed and cover them with plastic. If you cover your plants, you can, I believe, I want to think it, if I remember right, it can up your grow zone by 2 zones, and you can double cover. So the other thing I'm going to be doing this year is I want to try to do some succession sowing, and then I'm going to do some cold sowing. Like I want some crops that are going to grow more into the winter, cover them with the plastic cover to up my, to keep them in. I probably, if we have another mild year like we have now, I probably will be able to harvest all year, all winter long. Even if it snows, it hasn't been getting that cold. Even in 2023, we had a lot of snow out there, and I covered some stuff. I mean, I remember I even used little salad containers, and I planted out my celery in my bed, and then I mulched it, and then I put those on top of it, and then put the straw around them, and it snowed, and they were happy as could be. Okay, and then my potatoes I'm growing this year, I'm telling you now because I don't have those in Alfred yet, but I'm going to be growing Red Norland and Yukon Golds, and they work really well for me. I actually did get some organic potatoes the other day. They're chitting right now, so I'm leaving these to chit, and I will probably plant these too as well. These are like a purple potato. I don't even know what their name is. So I was like, oh, well, see, they're organic. So you can go to the grocery store and buy organic food and use that to plant as well. So I think that wraps it up for all the things that I'm going to do or different in my garden. And
Opening, closing,